Hi, how are you? Thank you, Peter, to coming here online.
Hi, Michelle. Good. How about yourself?
Thank you. Very good. Well, maybe for the people who are looking that video for the first time, can you introduce yourself? Who are you, by the way?
Yes, my name is Peter Kolarov, and I'm the CEO and founder of Crayonic.
So, we've got last year already a discussion with your colleague with who we introduced a little bit Crayonic and the very amazing Keyvault. So we've got some time now, and the first question I would got for you is there is a lot of improvement of Keyvault. I see that on the latest version I received. So what are the most significant changes we can have today on the device? Can you tell us?
Yeah, thanks, Michelle. I think you know us a little bit already, so you know that we are a little bit on the geek side, hacker side. So we definitely work a lot on the features and extensions. Our roadmap is actually quite extensive. Most of it is demand-driven. So depending on what our clients need, we kind of embed into the Keyvault. But overall, I think since maybe you've talked last time, since with Pavel, we have mostly worked on features such as compatibility with Microsoft infrastructure. That was one certification that we have recently passed, at least the unofficial part. So soon, hopefully, we will be whitelisted by Microsoft in the Azure Active Directory. You can take a Keyvault and kind of just works out of the box with it. Besides these kind of certification steps, as you know, Keyvault is something we refer to as a smart authenticator, and to us, it's basically a platform that we can build these crypto biometric solutions, that use and tie end user via biometrics to cryptographic keys and secrets. So many features, already. The one we started with was FIDO compatibility. So we have the FIDO2 certified Keyvault, but then we had to move on directly into other communication channels and protocols. And most recently, we were working on what is called as a smart card emulation, or a support for a PIV protocol, and this gives us compatibility with more legacy infrastructures that are PKI based. So for example, if you need to work with certificate-based authentication that's tied to people with biometrics, then you can now use Keyvault to do so, using and issuing certificates into the Keyvault and using them out of the box, with over PIV protocol, for example, to log into desktops or VPNs or signing documents or emails and other use cases. So this was like one of the bigger features that was recently added and made available mostly through USB channel and NFC protocol. Other features maybe that I should mention are a little bit more even technical, and they deal with protecting secrets, specifically secrets in password managers. We work on technology or application on how to actually protect passwords inside password managers to prevent, for example, supply chain attacks where a password management software or its cloud could be compromised and passwords could be extracted. So this solution would allow end user to basically encrypt every password with a Keyvault and then use it securely in just using standard password manager that they're used to. For example, we're testing with Bitwarden, but other password managers are possible. And this would allow you, to increase the security even in the password space, which, as you know, we are obviously not a big fan of, but we know that they'll be still around for a while.
I saw the Bitwarden integration, and was pretty great. It was one of the tests I've done last time with Pavel, which was, well, for me, really interesting because that kind of integration helps end users to ease the way to manage these passwords. By the way, I saw you started also an open sourcing Keyvault. Why you do that, and what's inside?
That's a good question. I don't know if you remember, but I remember back in the day, one of the first security keys, YubiKey. So when they launched the product, I remember deploying it, and one of the reasons was because it was open source. I could see inside what they do. I could see how it works and why it doesn't. So that was one of the very important features back at the time. I think they stopped doing it, at least on the security key side. But we also need to first obviously gain trust of the end users and the community in the cybersecurity professionals. So we did decide to disclose as much as we can, and we'll be probably adding more to it. But right now we started with the hardware part, so you can see the schematics, you can see what is inside. When you buy a Keyvault, currently we don't implement some hardcore physical hardening, especially when you buy it as a sample from an eShop. This is different for production, but when you buy it for yourself, you can also kind of try to disassemble it and see really what's inside. And so starting from hardware, but also going to the very sensitive bits, which is our cryptography, how we use it inside our secure elements. So the Java applet you can see and test yourself and see if we do anything weird that you wouldn't like. So for us, it's really a trust issue, and it's very important that the cybersecurity professionals trust us.
Okay, but I've seen for you, Microsoft is an important partnership. Well, for Crayonic globally, but what about other collaborations? Because FIDO Alliance is pretty open. So here, if you look into authentication business such as Google, Facebook, and Amazon, today we're still being able to these guys to register FIDO devices. But did you get some specialized or some oriented relationship or new partnership for Crayonic?
A very good point you're making about Microsoft. We believe Microsoft has one of the best implementations right now out there for the FIDO stack. So most of their properties, whether it's Office 365, Azure Active Directory, even Windows have this built in. You can use FIDO-based security keys, such as Keyvault, directly out of the box. And so for us, it's obviously an important partnership, but we don't necessarily have a way, to integrate any other way beyond this FIDO protocol. So if you mention, for example, Google or Facebook or Amazon, these bigger cloud solutions, they do support in some way FIDO, so we can work, or the Keyvault can work with these providers, but only usually as a second factor. And if you want to go to the completely passwordless route and maybe possibly even usernameless, you need to kind of have something in front of these solutions. And this is usually some kind of a single sign-on system. And those are, I would say, few are on the market and known, such as Okta, ForgeRock, or Duo. Beyond Identity, they all support FIDO protocol, so they would support security keys such as Keyvault.
By the way, one of the big thing I see coming on Crayonic was the fact now you are providing a gateway that could be able then to bring the backup and recovery for the keys generated for Keyvault. So there are here, I see here different business models, kinds of implementation. So can you just quickly talk about what are these main advantages with that gateway you are providing?
So yeah, as I mentioned, Keyvault is compatible with many single sign-on solutions, such as, of course, I have to mention Microsoft Azure Active Directory. But for many implementations, you may not have one at hand, and in that case, we do provide our own hosted solution or on-prem. We call it Crayonic Gateway, and it really wasn't originally designed or it wasn't meant to provide single sign-on. That was not our purpose out of the box, but it was there to manage Crayonic Keyvaults and support features that other I would say other single sign-on or management solutions don't provide. And these are the specifics of Keyvault and include features such as possible recovery of the lost keys, especially in the enterprise settings, when you, for example, have some HSM attached to it. But also setting security policies or configuring Keyvaults specifically for the use case that you have in the enterprise. For example, some use cases could be more security driven. So let's say you authenticate into the Keyvault for one transaction and it kind of logs you out automatically. But then another use case could be more tolerant to authentication. So you log into it, you stay logged in for a certain amount of time, and then you, touch the device you need to log in, and you are logged in without, let's say, pressing a fingerprint reader or anything else on the device. So those use cases are maybe different for example, for healthcare, where you need kind of a fast login logout versus a financial institution where you need to kind of confirm every transaction on a secure display of Keyvault. So that's where the gateway comes handy the most, is configuring these settings and doing this special operations such as backup recovery, and now even actually issuing X-File certificates. That's also one other thing that you can do with the gateway, one of the more recent features. But yeah, you can always use it as a single sign-on. That's kind of out of the box since it's built on top of production-ready Red Hat Keycloak solution. It's again open source. It's very transparent, and we either help you to deploy this on-prem or you can use it our hosted solution.
We've also seen you propose that on-premise and cloud-based services, but can you talk more about it? Because I've seen there are several ways to implement that gateway, and because if you got on-prem, probably you've mentioned Active Directory. How does it integrate with current Active Directory implementation or with Azure Active Directory for people who are really starting, looking to get some kind of smart devices in security? What could be today the best approach to go and to do adoption for Crayonic solutions?
So one interesting use case, obviously, if you are a pure on-prem shop, you don't have cloud. Let's say you have your Microsoft Active Directory, you have computers inside the internal domain, and you want to go passwordless. So there is currently very little solutions that allow you to do that, and especially if your users have to kind of migrate or move between different desktops. For example, typical scenarios inside the hospital or in retail or in industry. So the way to do this would be basically installing Crayonic Gateway on site, connecting it to Active Directory. This connection is kind of multi-pronged. It supports LDAP for syncing identities, but then you would probably want to have, for example, Microsoft Certificate Services or similar certificate authority on site, which you can connect Gateway to as well. Once you have this set up, then you can use the Gateway to issue X509 certificates into Keyvaults simply over web browser. You don't have to install anything on the PCs at the endpoints. And once the end user has a Keyvault, and a certificate on it, then you can use it out of the box to log in either to VPN or just basically do the desktop authentication into the domain on either remote or local desktops. So it kind of works without installing any agents on the endpoints, and is basically supported by Microsoft and has been there for a few years. But PKI solutions were usually so complex that people didn't go this route and they stayed with the username and password. But effectively, we allow you to now use a simple token with biometrics and logging into the desktop just using your Active Directory, basically.
I saw that with that integration with smart devices with Windows 10 and now with Windows 11, that brings a complete new dimension to be passwordless. And such devices, I saw some of the videos Crayonic made where you can see how to log in without passwords, just presenting the key, doing a fingerprint. That's the way how we could naturally be logging on desktops. I think that's opened a door to many other kind of authentication processes, like giving access to buildings, or being able then to also to be authenticated to other kind of devices. By the way, Peter, I feel there is something under the hood. Can you tell us a little bit about features coming in the roadmap? What's coming next? You're in the heart of that, so can you tell us a little bit more?
Yes, I mentioned we have quite a big, extensive roadmap, and really we would like to see everything at once already, but we have only so much time and money right now, so we have to prioritize things. But one of the, I would say, very important features on the list of or requests is combining this logical access, for example, logging into PCs or Office 365 with the physical access. So really entering a building, maybe follow me printing, or unlocking alarm, or theoretically even unlocking a car. Why not? So for this, obviously we need to integrate a little bit more protocols than we have. Obviously we already are compatible with some standards, but unfortunately, especially in the physical access space, there is many more protocols that are, I would say, used globally. Some of the top ones that we would like to implement first are from HID sales protocol. This is their, I would say, one of the most modern and most secure physical access protocols that are available, and also of course my favorite FIRE protocols that are very, I would say, widespread used in different industries and verticals around the world. So these are like the top two on our list. Of course there's a few more, but yeah, I mean, I know you want to open your Tesla with it, but
you've got it. Yeah, sure.
It is on the list there, and I think it's actually it's one of the easier ones, I would say, if it's not done already. But yeah, we don't have so many Teslas here to play with.
We'll test that for sure in case of. Well, thank you very much, Peter, for your time. It has been a pleasure to discuss with you. Again, for the people who are following that video, I invite you to see also the discussion we've got with Pavel some time ago, just to discover what Crayonic is able to do, what other solutions on identity management, because it's very something important for the company. Again, thank you very much for your time. I would like also to thank Pavel to help us to organize that meeting. So thank you. See you very soon, Peter, and take care.
Thank you, Michelle, and always pleasure talking to you.
Bye.